How's that for a scenic 270 degrees? Okie. Good morning. It is probably around 10:30ish in the AM on Saturday, January 11th, 2020, in the full moon of Misamiko Komiato. It's our third winter lunar cycle, and I have a few hours to work with this morning, and I thought I would come out here to the wilderness park and just take a little walk, see what there is to see on a Saturday morning, stretch my legs. I've been wanting to come up with a Blackfoot name for this park, like Spopikimi that I use for my favorite long-term site of study. And I think there must be a term for river rapids, and since this is one of the only places with any kind of rapid action going on, maybe I'll find out what that word is and start using it as a place name for this park. Surprised I hadn't seen any deer walking down from the parking lot. Even driving down the hill, I didn't notice any. Certainly there's been some fresh deer tracks, but really not even too many of those. We'll see. They must be at some area of the park here. It's probably 14 degrees below zero. This will be a fairly decent test of the cold durability of both of my Sony cameras here. Yeah, we'll just take a walk. We'll be at the river shortly. Seems to be quite a few geese down here along the river, as well as maybe some golden-eye ducks. The golden eyes for sure won't stick around if I betray my presence. The geese, we got a bit more tolerance. See if we can walk up a little closer. I just don't want to make them expend a lot of energy needlessly in this kind of temperatures. Maybe if I just come a little bit upstream. Close we can get on those ducks out there. can't tell from my viewfinder whether those are mallards or golden eyes, and I'm too far away to see with my naked eye. Maybe when I have it on playback it'll be obvious as I'm editing and such. A lot of waterfowl though, pretty much all the way down. Means eagles will be around. Maybe coyotes. There's those rapids. Alright, let's head into the forest for a bit. Maybe just before we leave this scene, I'll tell a quick story. Earlier this week, my friend Darren, who you may have seen on my recent San Francisco videos, had an experience with the geese at his park. He and a friend had been walking through the park, and when they came to the geese, I guess they crouched down to the geese's level, something like this. And in any case, the geese at one point, a group of 5 of them started becoming active and honking and you know, head nodding and such, if I'm remembering right. And I don't want to tell the story wrong, but basically what happened is the whole group of geese slowly, you know, became excited, seemingly, and then the lead 5 took off. And when they took off, because Darren and his friend were crouched down at the goose's level, they could see that they all took off, you know, simultaneously. They left the water simultaneously as one unit, and then, you know, the other geese joined them. But afterward, Darren's friend had noted that the lead 5 had synchronized, you know. And then maybe their calls were, you know, a way of communicating to synchronize their takeoff. And just that simple observation, you know, it can expand one's sense of what these animals are about and what they're doing out here, and the complexity of what you might be witnessing. Because it takes the level of communication much deeper than, you know, these geese are just getting agitated, they're making noise, and they're getting ready to take off. You know, you can tell the geese are getting ready to take off. They're getting all uppity, you know. But what if they're actually communicating to each other? What, you know, synchronizing the takeoff, deciding, you know, or every goose claiming his or her place in the formation to come. You know, who knows? what all the communications are, but certainly even just the observation of the synchronization lets you know there's more going on than what you sometimes realize. So hopefully Darren would be okay with me sharing his observation from this week, but he shared it online, so I'm sure as long as I'm letting him know where it comes from. Just kind of leaving this immature section of forest right along the river and climbing up into the next echelon, which is inhabited by the oldest trees in the park. And here is where I always hope to see owls, though I haven't been successful at that for maybe a couple of months out here. I don't know if there's any that are going to nest in this park this winter. Probably are. I'm probably just missing them. That blind that I like to use for the viewing the deer. We've definitely been out here. Lots of recent deer sign. Oh, speaking of deer, there's some right here in the thickets, in the chokecherry. Well, hold on, we'll just move into the blind and probably get our other camera going from there. There's a few of them out here. I saw at least two others that kind of left her behind. This gets pretty thick. I'll hang out here a minute or so and then continue on. At least we found some deer. Yeah, this is the area where I've typically encountered owls when I have visited this park in the past. And even this over the summer, there was this log here. One afternoon I came in and I thought I would take a nap on this log. Just lay on my back and take a nap. So I was drained, I don't know. It was warm. Oh look, it's been visited by a porcupine. Porcupine has walked this whole log. But yeah, I tried to lay here and take a nap. Wasn't working, wasn't comfortable. So then I came over here and I laid down in the grass. I slept a little. And I kind of woke up and I reached out to grab my cell phone, see what time it was. And I heard somebody back in here, a voice say, "Are you okay?" And it turned out there was a photographer back in here who who'd been photographing an owl that typically perched right up in here. And it was a kind of a long time perch for that owl because there was a lot of scat and a lot of pellets and stuff. But I haven't really found that owl again, that bird again, maybe but once or twice since then. And I kind of suspect that if they are nesting in the park at all, it's not in this area. I haven't seen an owl nest anyway. So I gotta look in some other wooded thickets perhaps. What is this? This is the remains of a wasp nest? Oh yeah. That's exactly what it is. Pretty cool. Bald-faced hornet nest remains right there. Always find them in the winter. They're pretty hidden like bird nests in the summer. Well, not finding an owl right away, let us go and check out the cabin, the little cabin thing that I witnessed a guy constructing down here the other week. It's probably those same 3 deer. Just on the edge of the thicket now. Kind of going in my same direction. I'm headed just through here, where the log cabin thing is. Lincoln Log Project. I didn't realize how close to the water this thing was. Oh, scaring off birds. Several flocks have left. Mallards. Should I just be happy with this view and not get right up in there to avoid making these guys freak out, these last clan here? Yeah, maybe. It doesn't seem to be there's anything. I don't notice anything in there other than snowy ground that I can tell from here anyway. It's just beaver chewed logs stacked up, you know. Yeah, continuing down the bend, there's still, on both sides of the river, there's still geese. In the skies everywhere, there's geese. I have located an ancient government artifact. Who knows how long it's been here, as deeply as it's buried in the sand and rock and loam. Is that a word? Of the river floodplain. No, this area hasn't been disturbed at all. Just over this way, there's a little bit of a forested section that is the only other area that I encountered owls over the summer. So I might pop in that way just to check. It's where we encountered that porcupine a few weeks back. Me and the deer have the same idea. Kind of stick to the edge zone. Natural pathways. Natural trails should follow the edge zones. The trail that the city has constructed is way out there in the open. Open to the river. Open to everything. It's not natural. There I go, using that natural thing. Check this out. That's cool. Pelvis and spinal column. Pretty nice. Of a deer who once was. Not so long ago. Let's go look in these trees. Battery power for both of my Sony cams is holding up really good considering the temperatures. This is just like layer after layer of flotsam in here. All the stuff that the floods bring and deposit. You can see there was a rabbit. Most likely the mountain cottontail. It's just the black rabbit who doesn't change color for winter. And yeah, the black rabbit loved it. Oh, there he goes. Hold on, I'll get my other camera. I'll show you. See him there, eyeballing me. It's probably kind of a cave under the flotsam there. You can probably dive in. Let's see. I bet he can. But if I approach, that's just what he does. Oh, maybe not. Oh, yeah. He's got a hole right there. Synchronized, the black rabbit. Still on the look for owl. Just moving further into the forest now, but look at all this flood debris. The rabbits just must absolutely love this place. There's definite signs of them all over. Yeah, this is perfect for the cottontails. No owls as yet, but I did find this really nice deluxe magpie nest, which I'm very sure has been used and refurbished over several seasons. That's a good one. It's a little bit low, but for the predators that are here, other than humans, it's not too bad. Geese moving every which way. I don't know what to make of it, heads or tails, but have to start rounding the downstream side of the park so I can make my way home in time for afternoon duties with the family. Do you see the pathways that I see? Which are not traditional pathways, but for people out here. Not like this thing. No, thank you. What that is, plastic remains of a crummy raft or something, sleeping mattress perhaps. This is one of the very exposed, non-edge zone paths that I don't have so much a problem with for a couple of reasons. First of all, there's not a really good edge to move against here, except for perhaps the riverbank, but then you'd alert all the waterfowl, and so this is a nice bit removed from river view, but that does leave it somewhat exposed in this environment where obviously there was gravel pits or something going on in the past. But I think secondarily I like this path because it's narrow. You know, it's an actual walking path. It's not this big wide coal slag road, you know. The developed trail. Every time I use the word natural now, I catch myself. And I start asking, you know, looks like maybe coyote. Yeah, I start asking myself, okay, what did I mean by it then, you know? And I think in terms of the trails, what I said back there, it's unnatural. I think because it just defies all of the rules that the other animals whose trails you might follow out here utilize, and it seems detached from the interests of the eco community. Looks like there must have been a porcupine. Oh yes, I can see the porcupine was chewing just up here, but then has waddled off somewhere in that direction. Yeah, I guess it's the extent to which you're trying to conform to the eco community's needs, interests, expectations, and your role in it and such. And I think a lot of the things that we do right now are detached from those interests because we're in a very self-serving culture. Later today I'm going to be taking Will to a birthday party, and Cody has another birthday party to go to. Chelsea's going to take her. And I wonder, you know, who was the first one to come up with this idea of the birthday and the celebration where, you know, because it's your special day, you get all the gifts from everybody. That's the oddest, one of the oddest ceremonies in the world, I think. The It's My Day ceremony. It's my special day. Here we are. The freeway. We'll go see what's happening on the river. Alright, we might not be able to get very close because these sensitive geese are very upset by my presence. Let's look up upstream a little bit here. A lot of geese around this island. They're going to start flying now too. Yeah, I just can't get anywhere close. No eagles out on the trees out there where they sometimes perch. In fact, haven't seen an eagle today, which is weird considering that the geese are all down here. So, not sure what to think about that. Guess we'll head back toward the parking area. Alright, we have here a path that's positioning more or less makes sense, but its design is still just ridiculous. I mean, no other animal is going to make a path like this, and you might say, well, we're a unique species. So what's wrong with us making a path like this? Well, the thing is, I have no issue with constructing a path that's smooth, it's easily navigated. Why does it have to be 10 feet wide? We don't need a path that's 10 feet wide. How does this path affect the very small species who have to cross it over pretty much an extended period of time? I mean, think if you're a beetle. Or, you know, something. Making your way across a snake. What have you. This is far more exposure than is safe. We could easily make our pathways a foot, 2 feet wide, 3 feet, accommodate wheelchairs. Why do we need 10 feet? Is that unnatural? I don't know if it's unnatural, but it definitely, the decision making here has nothing to do with the interests of the greater social community out here. And this is actually a road a vehicle can travel down. I'm sure that's on purpose, but roads are different than paths. Just like, a one man's little fishing net is different than the kind of industrial gill netting that you got going on in the ocean. Because the same idea is being extended, the same technologies. Does not make it okay most of the base technologies emerged in a context where the other life was taken into account, you know, where people appreciated our coexistence. Almost back to the vehicle now. Guess that's been our morning walk. Sorry if you got preachy there. Just me thinking out loud. Cameras did good. It's cold out here.